As we do every single week, consistently forever, as is tradition here at twitch.tv/subtractem. Let me get myself a little over here as we do our weekly Path of Exile news Reddit recap. That is what we always do every single week, every single Wednesday at exactly 4:37 p.m. So much has happened in the past week. What we're looking at here is this is just the top posts in the past week. And there are some pretty interesting things that happen. I think the number one post here is the number one post for a very, very big reason. The timeless jewels have been cracked. And not cracked as in hitting 360 headshots every single match. Cracked as in someone did basically reverse engineer and figure out what the equation was for timeless jewels. If you're not familiar what that is timeless jewels have this number here. See mine says carved to glorify 9,067 new faithful, blah, blah, blah. Those words don't matter. By High Templar Dominus. So where it says Avarius to Maxarius, there's a few different names there. That will be what affects the keystones. But the specific number there, that 9,067, which can be any number from 2,000 to 10,000, right? That's a range of 8,000 numbers. You can spam your divines, buy a bunch of timeless jewels and just like spam divines down them and then test them out and see what you get. This has been figured out in Path of Building. A dev figured this out. And there have been a bunch of tools that have come out in the past week where people are being able to visualize it. There's spreadsheets now of the exact perfect numbers that people are setting up snipes for. This is a very, very big deal. There's a lot of question whether GGG is going to change it. They could just make all of the information fully server side and make it literally impossible to figure out. Minus some like reverse engineering. Like you can always like brute force and reverse engineer something, right? Like assuming enough divines in standard, no matter, even if they change the seed, people could brute force it and just like write down every single node and they can just kind of reverse engineer it through that no matter what. But that's so tedious that there's a reason why it took like cracking the code to get these tools out here. So how GGG responds to this and what happens can be very interesting to watch going into the next patch. The second highest post in the past week. Dear GGG, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. You already have the technology with Gwenen's Astragali. At least up the stack count to 100 for all of our risks' sake. I'm all for convenience with like manipulate. Like you already see what I do, right? Like
when I'm ready.
I have my scroll wheel, right, bound to left click. So I can do this by using my scroll wheel. And then it lets me do this much, much quicker. I think this functionality basically should be built into the game. And GGG has already said that this is A-OK on TOS. Bex said it on Reddit. I mean, I'm all for going all the way and saying like compulsively count from V Rising. In V Rising, if you have like one thing in your inventory over here, and if I click compulsively count, it would automatically fill my full inventory. And vice versa, right? I could just click on Orb of Fusing and say compulsively count, and then all of my Orb of Fusings would immediately go in here. I am A-OK for that, right? Like there's already bots, right? We know there's bots. And bots are already able to do all this stuff like instantly. So the thing is, I don't think changing stack size is a realistic request though. Like stack size has a lot, the weight of the item. I know the weight of the item, but stack size is actually very meaningful, right? Especially when you get into more juiced maps. The reason, like one of the reasons why you don't pick up fusing orbs, besides the fact that it's annoying and you don't need to, every 100 fusings is going to take up an entire column of my inventory, right? And if I have a bunch of like 6 links, if you've ever done juice maps, right? And you're trying to pull 6 links out of your inventory, right? Even just having a little small currency makes it so you lose the ability to pull back one more 6 link. So people do tricks like they'll keep it on their mouse cursor. And then the other trick is you can put it in June Unveil as well. You can do that. And I think there's somewhere else you can put it as well. Oh yeah, Cassia. I think she can anoint. So if you have Cassia on your map as well, you can put your item in here. And then you can go to your map and it's the same shared inventory. So people do stuff like that. These are like inventory slots, and your mouse cursor counts as an inventory slot as well. You have to be very careful in the conversation when talking about stack size. GGG did not choose the stack size numbers on accident, right? These numbers are very, very meaningful and they matter based on GGG's calculations for value, right? So I think that request is a little, GGG is gonna just say no. when it comes to that. However, I think being able to quickly sort and put stuff in your stash and pull it out, all of that, I am 100% for. I am all for making the game more fun to play and less annoying, right? There's definitely like certain things that matter in terms of game systems and value and all that type of stuff. And you got to be careful when it comes to game design. And like, because certain requests will just bump up against GGG's, like, you know, their manifesto design philosophy. Doing stuff more conveniently, I'm all for, 100%. Also, big news, Maxroll, which I actually had not heard of Maxroll before this week. It's apparently like a guide writer for Diablo games, and they closed their Diablo Immortal branch, which, you know, good on them. good on them. I respect that decision. They are opening, at the beginning of the next league, they're opening a Path of Exile division, which will be pretty cool. I know, what is it like? It's like Enki and Pelstron. I don't know who else is going to be in there for their like official guide writers, but yeah, I think that's good. You know, more access to more quality guides, getting, you know, pushing down the prevalence of like, there's not that many bad guides, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. There are bad guides, right? You go to Path of Exile, you type Path of Exile build guide, and unfortunately you get, you know, this, right? This is this is bad, right? This is bad. And unfortunately, oh, whoa, look at that. That's me. That's my face. Oh, never mind. This is the best search you can type in Path of Exile. Oh, whoa, my face is up there. But this is bad, right? This is bad. Like Engineering Eternity, great. But this site, unfortunately, is basically, they have RMT stuff on there. They do scummy stuff like rename their old build guides to say, like, oh, 314, now it says 318. I don't, like, the last time I looked at them, that's what they were doing. Maybe it's better now, but right. And luckily it's good for showing like 318, but YouTube does have an issue where it'll show you older videos once in a while, right? Like here's one. Top 10 builds, right? Could be good, but that's from 6 months ago. And due to the way that Path of Exile works, keeping build guides up to date, all that type of stuff, it's easy for people to be led astray, right? This could be a great video, but a video from 6 months ago, unfortunately, if you're new to the game, you might not know how quickly the game changes, you know, goes out of date. And then, you know, people are like, oh, I was following this build guide from Ritual League. It looked really good. And then it's like, yeah, about that. Okay, so yeah, I think that's overall good news. I don't know anything about else about Maxroll. I don't know what people think about it or anything, but you know, with trusted build creators, putting good build guides out there is good. This thing, I only caught this Reddit post very quickly. I read the top line. It looks like there's a Discord that is gathering together by Poor Fishwife. Looks to be one of the leaders. If you don't know, Poor Fishwife is a person or a entity. I don't even know if it's a human being. It's some sort of sentient, mathematical, science, data-driven entity that likes to do scientific testing in Path of Exile. And they have been doing Poor Fishwife, right? They started off doing a lot of like fishing science, figuring out like, oh, with an angler's pleat in like mud in the, you know, the mud flats, then maybe, you know, you do this, and with like a, what was it? Like a stun and block support or something, or blind support, you can make a Roa run away and get like a albino feather. There's like crazy stuff that they've tested over and over and over again. And it looks like they're trying to gather it more into a more formalized place for people to do the science. So yeah, I think that's a really cool thing, and definitely join that. I don't, I'm not advocating for anything, but it sounds like a cool thing to participate in if you're passionate about that. The Timeless Jewel Seed added passive tree display. Like this is one of the tools that people, this is the type of stuff that people are working on, right? Is with the seed cracked, you can then download everything. You could type in, like, with the right tools, you could type in, hey, I want the most dexterity possible with a brutal restraint. And it'll go beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. Bam, there you go. This is the seed that you're looking for. And then you can just go to PoE sale, find it for 20 chaos, and you have a perfect jewel. Clearly something that I think GGG is gonna... They're gonna hide that seed in future. Let's see. Performance patches should only be on Monday. Oh, performance. Oh my God. How's everyone's performance been? How's everyone's performance been this league? The past 2 weeks, and especially the last week for me, has been bad. Atrocious. It might be like certain calculations with cast on crit builds or anything like that, right? Like cast on crit, there's an extra layer of calculations going on, but you'll see that I actually went all the way down Oh, I'm using Vulkan right now. I thought I was on DirectX 11. I thought I clicked on okay, well, Vulkan's been okay. I was using DirectX 12, and I was going between DirectX 12 and Vulkan. I've been ping-ponging between them the entire league. There are many clips of me in the past couple weeks, especially of going into a pack of monsters. The entire game slows to a standstill. Boom, character dead, and I just get deleted, and the game stops working. To the point now where apparently I'm using Vulkan. I didn't even remember what I was on. And Vulkan seems to be working okay, but I'm just gonna be keeping on experimenting and all that and see. It seems like something happened with like an NVIDIA driver, and then they released a patch to try to address the NVIDIA driver.
Pew, pew, pew.
And then there was another NVIDIA driver came out, and then another patch came out like on a Friday. I think it was this past Friday. It's like a patch came out, right? The patch was real bad. Like the game was like unplayable for me in the past 2 weeks, or the weekend was unplayable. And then on Monday, we started playing around with it, and like Vulkan was better. As someone who did performance as a game dev in the past, I can tell you, no matter how complicated and hard you think it is, it's 10 times harder. Especially it's a moving target. Every 3 months, they're adding new content. And yeah, that's definitely something, maybe you can criticize. Adding new content, piling on all the time. It's got to be for the, you don't want to blame the people that are working on performance, right? They're doing their best. They're trying to make it better. But, they're on this breakneck schedule where they're adding tons and tons of systems every 3 months. And, sometimes things are just going to break, right? As someone who did game dev in the past, or just software dev in general, right? Like, it's Friday and you're like, you think you got the bug fix. And you're like, oh my God, I really just want to get this bug fix out. I know it's 4 p.m. on a Friday, but I want to get it out because I want to make sure the game feels good for the people that want to play on the weekend, right? Because they were stuck between a rock and a hard place where the game was broken on Thursday for, let's say 5 to 10% of people, and they wanted to make it better. And then, so like, you're working on it. You think you fixed the bug. You push it out Friday at 4 p.m. and maybe it fixes it for those 5 to 10% of people. But then a different 5 to 10% of people get another problem, and that's always the problem. And that is just a production mistake. I'm surprised they made the mistake on a Friday for such a mature company, but sometimes it happens. I understand the instinct to do that for sure. Yeah. Software is just crazy. Like, when you get that bug fix out, you wanna push it, right? It's really hard to hold on to it for a weekend. So let's see. Temples are fun. Look at this. A Sublime Vision, which you didn't know. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. This is a fun thing you can do. Search for the item, reverse search by price. And let's see if that exact Sublime Vision still exists. Let's say you can say number of implicits. We want to say 2. How many people have double corrupted Sublime Visions? We got Corrupted Blood, Hindered. Is this the one? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. You got, oh, this is Cloudy. Yeah. Damn. Well done, Cloudy. Perfectly, can't be hindered, Corrupted Blood. He's got it for, of course, Cloudy has it for 69 mirrors. Of course he does. Yep, that's insane. The most Cloudy item I've ever seen. Very nice. Petition to have those who came up with Atlas grinds to actually grind 2,000 altars. Normally, I'm not someone to agree with this, but as someone who did my 40 out of 40, that challenge. That challenge sucks. That was one of my last challenges that I did. I did my endgame grinds. These ones, this is supposed to be the hardest grind. 600 depth, level 100, rare monsters, and 200 tier 16 bosses with 50 empowerment. I mean, to be fair, this is a very easy endgame grinds, but like, this took so long, right? Like, so there's no overlap between these, right? So you're looking at best case, like on average, right? If we just say 3 altars per map, we're just gonna say like 340, 680 maps, plus another, like I'm just gonna say 150, right? We're very close to 1,000 maps. And you can get unlucky, right? Like sometimes you'll just have like 1 altar on a map. Like a focused 1,000 maps to do this grind. This one sucked. I don't think they understood how painful this one was going to be. League sequels, why isn't it a thing? I talk about this all the time, actually. is we have a lot of NPCs. Synthesis, the nameless one. Like, and obviously a lot of these are meant to be kind of like throwaways, right? But like the alternate timeline Scourge Alva was so cool. You know, being able to like squeeze that in somewhere with like some like time warping crazy stuff would be sick as hell. Oh my God, what would happen with it as we ramped up the war against the Blight? That would be sick as hell. Taking Betrayal in June to the next level. June finally kills Katarina.
Hello.
The exile walks away, and June sees the Cane of Kulmak laying there on the ground. And she says, why shouldn't I have this? And she takes over, and she actually like incorporates the expedition. She incorporates Lily and the expedition guys, and it's a whole new betrayal. Something like that would be super, super sick. I would love for them to like revisit stuff like that, right? Yes, make betrayal more complicated. I would love synthesis, like especially going deeper in the lore, deeper into the memories of different NPCs and stuff. Like, how cool would that be? But plot twist, it was actually a really bad Cane of Kulmak. Yeah, when she unveiled the Cane of Kulmak, it had like fizz damage with like arcane surge and like trigger or something like that. Fun little discovery here. People are using Decree of Winter. I actually think this is something that is slept on. People are using Apply Chill when using Secrets of Suffering. Yep, it's for Brittle, right? Glove Enchants operate very interestingly. There's a fun one. I forget the name of it. I think it's Will of Blades or whatever the Blades ones is, Decree of Blades or something, that counts as an attack. So even if you're a pure spell build, you can use like Mark on Hit Assassin's Mark, and that counts as an attack, your Glove Enchant. And so you can get Mark on Hit as if you're attacking with a pure spell build. And there's a lot of like, I think Glove Enchants are just something that like, I mean, I'm just as guilty of it, right? Like, I don't even think I have a Glove Enchant. And they're like, at the very least, I love Decree of Reflection, makes a mirror clone of yourself, can take some aggro. Can be annoying in boss fights because they'll attack and, you can run into something just like golems. This is just a thing to put in your mental Rolodex. Hey, there's something cool out there that, maybe you didn't know about. So that's a really cool thing. Okay, I think that will wrap up. Yeah. That will wrap up our traditional every single week, every single Wednesday, consistent series of the weekly Reddit recaps. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely let me know. The sub news hour. Let me know if you like that. I think it's fun to always reflect on that stuff and see what was going on in the game, have a little bit deeper discussion. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the first, I know I was playing around a little bit there, but this is my first experimentation on doing a little bit of a weekly Reddit recap. I thought it was especially apropos due to the amount of content and news that we had in the past week. And I thought it would be pretty fun to just kind of go over that a little bit. So let me know in the comments below if this was something that you'd like to see again. Definitely subscribe if you do want to see that again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.